What's up, guys? It is your girl, Sarah from Sarah Styles here, going live today with What Sold Wednesday. In today's show, I am going to talk about what has been selling on PoshMark and on eBay for the last week. So today is July 29th, so this goes through July 22nd on PoshMark on eBay. Those are the platforms that I currently sell on. So I'm going to start a little bit with telling you about my data. I'm kind of just taking a peek into monetarily how I'm doing, how things are trending, what's looking, top categories, brands, stuff like that. So I am doing this every week. I don't normally look deep into the Poshmark data every week. You kind of want to have a full picture of more data, but it is the end of the month. So I did pull in some Poshmark data to kind of look at some of the strategies that I am doing on Poshmark as well. Look at that data and go over that with you. And then I will show you the actual items that sold on Poshmark and on eBay so you can get an idea what is currently selling right now. This is live, so definitely feel free to interact with me. I love hearing what is working for you guys as well. I have been reselling for roughly a year and a half. I am kind of new to this too as well, so tips and tricks that you have as well. If you like content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notifications so you get notified when I have new content. I have a What Sold Wednesday and a weekly accountability meeting on Mondays. Anyone is welcome to join. Send me a DM if you want to join that one. Last week it was canceled. I was chatting on a Reseller Passions channel. We recorded it, so it should go in a recording, but talking about colorism and culture and race and all of that, really important conversations to be having, I feel. So I did decide to take the week off, but I will be back next Monday. And I do have a couple special guests planned for this week. So I'm excited, or for this month. Well, next month, I guess August would be next month. So definitely make sure to hit that subscribe notification so you get notified of those. So let's dig right into it. There is a lot of content today. What's up, Irish Lux, Deborah? Thank you guys so much for joining. Make sure to smash that like button if you're watching with me live or if you are watching this in the recording. So let's get into it. What's going on? How is my week? So I sold $1,380.63 of stuff last week on Poshmark and on eBay. That is down from previous weeks. It's roughly $100 less than last week and quite a few $100 less than the first week. I do find the first weeks of the month typically tend to be a little bit better. People are getting paid. And they're not running out of money so much. So I do find that tends to be a trend of mine. The other thing I want to talk about right now is it's a hot mess out there, y'all. It is a hot mess. Things are changing day to day with everything that's happening with the economy, everything that's happening with schools. There's talk of a new stimulus coming out. So let's talk a little bit about that, where the economy is at. So schools are a hot mess. I live in Colorado. Every single day, it seems like we're getting new news about what the schools are going to be doing. So that makes parents, and myself included, a little bit on ease. What's going on? How do we plan? What's going on with that as well? Deborah is saying her sales are like a roller coaster as well. It's hard right now because it's hard to plan as a business because you don't know what's going to be happening. So schools are there's a lot of political turmoil right now. It is an election year with the pandemic, lots of stuff going on. So that can make the economy, on top of there being a world pandemic, that can make the economy a little unstable as well. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. External factors to why something that could be happening with your sales. Not necessarily a reason that you shouldn't be making sales, but something that you could probably account for and say, okay, this is why my sales are down a little bit, or how do I take this into account and pivot my business to make sure that I'm still bringing in what I need to be bringing in. Those are a couple things. There's also Poshmark and eBay are both in the middle of making updates to their systems, which can cause issues. Not only can it cause issues in productivity, as you're learning, eBay is going into managed payments. And so as people are trying to get on to manage payments and figure out how to do that, they're taking time away from their business and figuring out how to get up and running again. Same with Poshmark, they're adding stories. They changed some of their filtering. There's lots of controversy. I'm not going to get into it, but there's lots of controversy right now in the Poshmark community about them. Poshmark updated some of their functionality and it caused issues with bots. Some people use bots for sharing. Like I said, I'm not going to get into that. That's your business. I will say though, no, I'm not even going to get into that. But that is your business and you can look into it. Lots of stuff talking on Instagram. Lots of people have opinions about that. But those are things that are changing right now. Poshmark is changing how things are working. So it takes users a little bit longer to kind of figure out the new system and how things are working. So that makes sense. If you are using if you're using a bot or if you're using a service that is using a bot and your sale and your closet was not being shared as often, that could have impacted your sales as well, right? I think that's what I wanted to. Unemployment did end at the end of last month. Not unemployment. The extra $600, there was a grant with the stimulus. I don't know if it was technically a grant, but there was with the stimulus package an extra $600 on unemployment. That ended at the last week. But that ended last week, but they're in talks about a new stimulus package. And so that causes a little bit of uncertainty. Hopefully for our perspective, there's a new stimulus package. People will maybe start getting a little bit more money possibly, and that can help increase our sales as well. The other thing that I've loved your guys' opinions on this, back to school. A big time for resellers, especially clothing resellers, is back to school. People are buying things to go back to school. Well, if schools aren't going to be going back to school, are people going to be buying new outfits? So I'm trying to be a little bit cautious and conservative on that point and not necessarily invest as much as I maybe would have in the past on fall items, because I don't know that, like right now, we're not going back to school for the first 2 or 3 weeks. However, one of the big districts in our area just announced they're not going back to school in person, remote, but they're not going to back to school in person at least for the first quarter. I would venture to say that our district will follow suit. We had protests this weekend because the teachers are not happy about it. So I definitely see, I'm cautious about what's going to happen with back to school, or maybe more athleisure wear, right? These kids are still going to be home and they want new outfits, but maybe it's more athleisure wear than what they would have normally bought. Irish Select is saying, so stressed out with the school thing. Freshmen and juniors at UConn and things change daily. Waited with bated breath on housing, was going to send them both with sleeping bags to stay on the sidewalk. It is so stressful. And there, I posted on my Instagram, there's not a right answer. It's hard, and you do you make the whatever is the best choice for you. But I feel like every day I think that choice is different. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what we're going to do. And then tomorrow I'm like, well, maybe this is what we're going to do. So keep an eye on that. It's very stressful times right now, and people are focused more on that, I think, than maybe, shopping online. So that's kind of where we're at. My daily activities, what am I doing compared to what I was doing last week? Or just in general. I have a video about activities that I do every day. I have a Poshmark one and an eBay one, so definitely check that out. And then on my website, www.SarahStylesLLC.com, you can purchase my templates or my checklist that I use every day for my daily activities. It's like $1. It's mostly just because I get charged a fee to have it on the website. So, but it helps you to make those daily sales. Those are things that I do that you can see. So I've mainly been doing those. I'm going to be honest, I have been scaling back how much I'm doing. With everything that's going on, honestly, I've been a little stressed that sometimes I just need a little bit extra time to decompress. My children definitely are needing me a little bit more. I'm trying to spend a lot more time with them. Last night I went on like an 18-mile bike ride with my kiddo, my oldest one. And so I'm not doing as much as I had been doing before. I'm still doing it, but not as much daily activities. I am listing every single day on eBay, 10 items a day on eBay. I'm trying to relist 5 to 10 items on Poshmark as well, and trying to keep that up with the sell similar relisting on eBay as well. So that's where I'm at. Let's pop on over and look into my data. How are things working? This we're looking at right now is the Sarah Styles Sales and Trends dashboard. It's for sale on my website as well, or you can get it on Etsy. This is all of the platforms. I have to manage my own data. So you can see here, oh wait, I can't click on this. Let me click on the actual spreadsheet. So you can see here, this is the data. I have to manage this. So if managing data is not something that you would like to do, this probably is not the dashboard for you. If you are okay updating the information and you want to see this charts and you sell on multiple platforms, this is the dashboard for you. I will get into, I'm actually looking at all 3 dashboards that I have for sale today. I don't always look at them every week, but today I'm going to, so you can see the other 2 as well. So I thought this was kind of cool. I posted on, I do want to know, I am taking a little bit of time off of YouTube, not quite as many videos. If you're wanting a lot of tips and tricks, especially how to look at data, what I'm looking at, what I'm doing on a daily basis, things are changing. I do update my stories every day, lots of stories, and then posting on Instagram. So head on over to my Instagram, SarahStylesLLC on all platforms. So here we go. This is, let's see if my mouse is working. It hadn't been working. So this is the sales and trends dashboard. Move this up just a little bit. So this is the sales and trends dashboard, 811 items sold for the year. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that. I mean, that's kind of amazing just to think of like 800 items I have purchased, shipped, and someone else has them right now. That's pretty legit with a 44% sell-through rate year to date, so January through July. But let's look at the performance. How am I doing? This is 28 days compared to the previous 28 days. So almost a full month of July compared to almost a full month of June. And what's interesting here is my gross revenue is up. So I'm making more money on the top end. I'm selling less items though. I've sold 21 less items, but my average sale price is up. So the reason that my gross revenue is up, because even though I'm selling less items, I'm selling higher price items. I'm up by $6.23. My items listed is up 54. I'm going to say shenanigans on that. Not shenanigans, but the way that my data works, I do pay someone to list for me. And so when she gets a draft ready, she puts it in the spreadsheet. So sometimes that number isn't, it just depends on when she's creating the drafts. So sometimes she does like 10 a day and sometimes she does like 50 for the week. So that's kind of just depends on like when she's put data in there. My sell-through rate is down too. And this is something that I want to note on. Typically speaking, a higher average sale price is going to bring you a lower sell-through rate. Higher price items tend to sit a little bit longer. It's more of a long game. And there's no right or wrong way to do this, which is why I want to show you why I encourage you to look at your data so that you can figure out what is working for you and a strategy that's working for you. If I just looked at counting how many items I was selling. And I will say, like, I feel like I haven't been packaging up as much items. And then I get a little bit of a freak out. But hey, look, my gross revenue's up. And that's the end result. Like, that's what I'm doing this for. And I'm spending less time shipping, which means that I'm actually making more money on an hourly basis as well, right? So that's where you can see here, this black line is my gross revenue. This is continuing to go up, even though my total number of items sold has gone down. So even though I sold less items this month, I am making more money. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Sorry, it froze up for a minute. So my monthly summary, this is July. I do want to know next month, this what sold video will actually be at 6:30. I will be meeting with Chris from A Daily Refinement, going over my numbers. We're doing a mentorship. He's mentoring me. We're doing a mentorship to get to $1,000 net a month. And so once a month now we are meeting and we'll go over this as well. So just keep that in mind. Next month, it'll be at 6:30. Gross revenue is 6,000. Currently, I'm at 6,000. There's like 2 days left of the month, so we'll see where that goes. 161 items. I don't want to touch too much here. I don't think there's any huge information here for what's going on that we didn't touch on before. I do want to look at my top categories that are selling for the month. Something that's new for me is electronics. If you've been watching me, you know that my brother-in-law has been sourcing for me. We're doing like a consignment type thing. He knows his shit. And he definitely knows electronics, home goods, and that kind of stuff, which I don't. I normally don't even touch it. Average sale price is $78 and a sell-through rate of 57%. That's legit. So if you guys are trying to figure out what to get into, do your research because he definitely knows what he's doing. But electronics could be there for you. So just a quick reminder, this is sell-through rate over here on this, and down here we're looking at average sale price. So up in here is quote unquote my BOLO categories. It means that I'm selling a high sell-through rate. If I have 100 items and 10 of them sell, that's a 10% sell-through rate. 100% would mean I'm selling all of those items. So the higher percent, the better. And then a high average sale price. So that's why that's my BOLO. But some other ones that I want to note on, bags is only a 13% sell-through rate. However, if you look at, so for me, and this is where your numbers will differ, if you look at my sell-through rate for July is 13%. And so that's about on par for what's happened. Like that's my normal, and it has a high average sale price of $61.51. So bags, I'm going to say, is one of my top performing categories. These 20 categories are my top performing categories for the month because they are the highest gross revenue. There was another one I wanted to note on. Shorts has a really high sell-through rate. However, the average sale price is down to $22. That's the other thing I want to note on. So the average sale price for me, this is my simulator. This is the amount, and you can change this. If you have this dashboard, you can enter in whatever number you want, and it calculates this based off of your data. So for me, I'm aiming, because of what's happening in the economy right now, while I know this $37 average sale price, I've had higher than that before too. I know that's doable for me. I don't know that that's what people are necessarily purchasing right now. And it's getting harder to find that inventory, especially at the volume that I'm trying to increase my store by. So I'm going to say I'm going towards, these are the different scenarios that I need to get to that 8,000 sell-through rate, or 8,000 gross revenue for the month. And so I need to sell 259 items and have this many active listings based off of my historical data. So this $30.89 is kind of what I'm keeping an eye out on. That's kind of my average sale price that I need to get to. So when I say shorts is below that, it's at $22. It's less than the average sale price. However, it's a 65% sell-through rate, which is significantly higher than my, was it like 13% sell-through rate? So that's where I'm at for the month. What's up, Duncan? My day's going good. eBay's been kind of slow today. Actually, this week. My sales are definitely down. Oh, I did want to say my split too. And this is interesting if you follow me. My split is 24 last week. 24 sold on eBay, 12 sold on Posh. So eBay was double what Posh was 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Posh was my like main gig, and eBay was like icing on the top. It's slowly starting to change. And let's look at that. So you can see here, my eBay I'm at for the month. Current year is $4,162 on eBay for the month so far. I don't have a previous year to compare to because I was not on eBay last year. And you can see my PoshMark is actually down from last year. I'm about $900 less than I was last year. Last July was my best month of the year. I did a lot of relisting. I actually didn't list anything new. I think like 30 items on PoshMark, which is surprising because, and here's the thing, people are like, oh, you have to list. And I'm finding that might be the case with eBay. PoshMark, it's not the case. You have to be active. Absolutely. The more time you put on PoshMark, it's a social app, the more you're going to sell. And last July is an indicator of that. Also, lots of other videos and analysis that I've done on the PoshMark algorithm. But you have to be active. Last July was my highest performing month on PoshMark, and I listed 30 new items. Everything else was either relisting or sharing or following or communicating with, just being active on the app. And I was at $2,800. So, I mean, this is down. It's not overly surprising to me because I've been spending less time on Posh. I'm now putting a lot more time into eBay. But if you look at my overall profit, it's definitely up. You can quickly tell there, or you can come over here and look. This was my July last month. I mean, I'm definitely up, a lot from last year. That's kind of all I wanted to touch on there. My cost of goods, PoshMark, my cost of goods is a little bit higher, but not significantly, not enough for me to be concerned about it. The other thing I do want to note on too, these are gross numbers that we're looking at. So my eBay number, I am liking that it is higher because that means that people are paying for shipping. I was doing free shipping, and then it was coming out of my gross revenue number, and I was actually netting a lot less. I've slowly been working on getting rid of free shipping and putting shipping in there and trying to make sure that I am keeping the velocity of items, or at least the end number sold items, end dollar amount. But that's why, so this is $12 higher. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm netting more money on eBay, because you have to keep into account that shipping and fees are coming out of that as well. I do promoted listings. So I'm liking that eBay is higher than Poshmark. Irish Lux is saying she's selling a lot of coats now, surprisingly, and people just buy outright. That's amazing. Tell me your strategies. On that note, I am going to pop on over. So now we're looking at the Sarah Styles sales dashboard. And keep in mind, we're going to look at my data really quickly, show you what a bigger picture of what's been happening. And then at the end of the video, I will get into showing you the actual items that contributed to this data. Let's look at some strategies, things that are going on. This is Sarah Styles analytical sales dashboard. This is for the Poshmark sales and inventory report. So if you are strictly a Poshmark seller, or you are mainly a Poshmark seller, or even for me, I sell a lot on Poshmark, you don't have to manage your data. You copy and paste your oh, that's not what I wanted to show. You copy and paste your sales report in here, and all of this data populates. So it's a little less time consuming in having to manage your own data. You can look at different timeframes that you want to look at. This is my daily orders. I'm looking at all of July's data. So that's through the 29th. It's not the entire year, a month, but it is through the 29th, a decent picture of what's going on. What I find really interesting is look at how low that Saturday is. I have noticed that my Saturdays have been lower. My thinking is, and let me know what you guys think, my thinking is the world was shut down for so long. Now that things are kind of starting to get open, although starting to maybe shut down and have more restrictions. But in July, things were starting to open up and people are getting a bit more comfortable. They were so sick of being in the house that on Saturdays, they were going out and doing things and not necessarily online shopping. Sundays is my best performing day, which is really funny because I take Sundays off. I still list 10 a day on eBay. I have drafts ready and I list. Sometimes I'll get on and do some Poshmark activities. Other than that, if someone asks me a question, I will answer the question. Other than that, I don't do anything. And it's my best performing day. So that's an interesting tidbit. I'm wondering if I don't want to do this. It's been very helpful for me to have a day off. But I'm wondering if I really did do a lot more on a Sunday, if I can increase sales there. All right, so these are strategies that you can do in Poshmark. What has been working for me? What strategies have I been doing? This offer to like is higher than my normal offer to like. Normally, I'm hovering around 10%. And that's because in the past, I haven't really been using offer to likes as a strategy to get sales because it lowers my average sale price. However, because I'm not on Poshmark as well as often, I'm not bringing in all of that activity and kind of feeding the algorithm to get more sales. So I was sending out more generous offer to likes more frequently than I had in the past. My bundles is 15%. I'm actually a little disappointed with that. I do like to see bundles at like 30 to 40%. I do go into every single liker and say, hey, thanks for liking my item. I give a free gift with purchase. If you'd like to find anything else, let me know. And I'm wondering if that's very time consuming and I'm only getting a 15% of people bundling. I'm wondering if that's not worth my time. And if people on Poshmark are just sick of getting these spammy messages, let me know. Do you guys do those messages? If you're on the chat, let me know now. If you're watching this in a recording, I'd love to hear any of your guys' thoughts about anything that I'm talking about. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the bundles. Do you guys think it's worth the time? Shipping discounts is interesting because this is actually a higher percent than offered to likes. Normally, I don't send out a shipping discount unless it's with an offer to like because you have to. But I've actually had people ask me, can you send me an offer with a shipping discount? Will you give me a shipping discount? And most of the time I do, but it's just interesting because people are getting, I think as they're starting to get more familiar with Poshmark, people are shopping online a little bit more now. They're starting to get a little bit more nerve. I don't know, is that the right word? But they're starting to ask a little bit more and get a better discount. This is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just something that's happening and you have to figure out how to build it into your business model. I foresee reselling e-commerce to just continue to grow. There's lots of information out there that is projecting it to continue to grow, but that means that things are going to grow and change with it. As people become more comfortable, maybe they're going to start asking for more sales and wanting a better deal. It's going to start becoming saturated because more people are doing it. You have to know what's going on to be able to pivot your business and stay ahead of it. Returning customers. I had no returning customers this month. Not overly surprising because I don't really do anything to get returning customers, but that's good information to know if you have it. What's interesting is California and Texas tend to be, they're the biggest population states, and Florida tend to be the bigger ones. What was interesting is up here, you see Illinois was in there and Nevada. Those aren't typically bigger ones for me. So that's interesting. That's Poshmark, things that are happening on Poshmark. I do want to get a little bit deeper into my data. And so this now that we're looking at, this is the Sarah Styles inventory dashboard. And this is again this is Poshmark only data, but it's going to be more of a deeper dive into your data. So I do like to look at it. Again, it's a copy and paste of your sales and your inventory reports. All of these dashboards are for sale on my website, www.SarahStylesLLC.com. There should be a coupon code up there as well, or send me a DM on Instagram. Duncan is saying many people take Sundays off, so they are more likely looking on eBay. You can schedule items to go live on Sundays to pick up impulse buyers. I usually, because I have drafts created already, so it takes me like 5 minutes. I don't mind doing that, but other than that, I don't do anything else on eBay. I don't know, you have to pay for scheduled listings, so I don't know that I want to do that. So this is what we're looking at. Lots of really good information in here. I'm not going to go over all the tabs for you. There's lots of other videos on my channel, but I do want to look at jeans is something that I'm kind of getting into the market of. I'm not quite sure. I'm taking it cautiously and trying to figure out what is working. So I do want to kind of take a look at how my jeans are performing for the month. Right now we're looking at down here, you can see sizes. So I'm looking at jeans that have sold in July by size. So the jeans that are selling are size 31, 29, 30, size 10. That's what sold in July for me. These are all jeans that I have on hand that haven't sold. That's not overly concerning with me because I listed a lot of jeans in July. So they're not likely to sell right away. Every once in a while you get an item that's like a hot ticket item and it sells right away. But for the most part, a month or 2, 3 months is something that I would be keeping an eye, or something that I would be anticipating. So having a lot of these on hand without selling. But what's interesting is, and I've seen this in the past, size 8 through like 14 is kind of my hot ticket size. 31s, 30, 29, size 10, right? Those are all the ones. Size 10 is 50% sell through, 40% sell through, 20% sell through, 50%. Those are all significantly higher than my normal sell through rate. And the other thing I want to look at is my subcategories. I like shoes, but I also like what sells. That's part of what drives me. So let's hop back to the sales and trends really quick and just look at shoes. So shoes, my sell-through rate is only 11%. However, my average sale price is $46. So I want to look a little bit deeper into, I think part of the reason shoes aren't selling is because people are at home, right? Like you don't need shoes. But then I also want to look into what styles are selling and kind of keep an eye out for that as well. Before we do that, I do want to pop in. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. But as I saw this chart, I did want to touch on it. This is my top brands for the month of July. Again, like I said, up in this corner is what I want to see. However, this chart is starting at an average sale price of $25. Your chart's going to look a little bit different based off of your data, but almost everything on this chart, this is just hovering. So this is $25. Everything on this chart has an average sale price of $25, which is good. Like I said, I'm trying to get to that $30 average sale price, but a high sell-through rate. And up here is Nike. Nike, I don't buy a lot of athletic wear, but Nike, these are all new with tags, so keep that in mind. But average sale price of $30, a sell-through rate of 92%. Like I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out for Nike. for sure. The other thing I wanted to, there was another one. Texas Instruments as well. The graphing calculator, 75% sell-through rate at a $60 average sale price. So if you guys are seeing those graphing calculators and they work, pick them up. They're usually only a couple bucks too. Okay, so that was that. Sorry, I didn't mean to go to that. Duncan is saying, you can finish drafts on Sunday instead of scheduled. Just do the drafts at various times during Sunday. New listings get a 24-hour higher exposure. That's interesting because I usually just list them all at once so I don't forget. Duncan saying, I message every buyer and tell them to check my store. They are then more likely to buy again and many do. I also ask them to book my shop. Do you message them after you, like when you ship out the item? I was doing that, but it's very time consuming. And I know like this is a business and it is time consuming, but it was taking a lot of time. So back to the shoes. Back to the shoes. Let's look. I want to kind of look at the subcategories, what in shoes is selling. So when I am buying those shoes, average sale price of $67, what ones are what sell-through rates, which ones have a high sell-through rate that are going for me. And heels is down here at 9%. And that's actually something I looked at this a couple days ago before I went on my last sourcing trip. And I've been much more selective in the heels that I'm picking up. One, I think our society in general is just a bit more casual than it used to be. But then also, like, we're staying at home, right? Like, not as many people are going into the office anymore. And so, like, I don't even have shoes on right now. Where if I was at an office, I would have heels on or whatever it is. So that's something I want to keep an eye on. Boots, athletic shoes, Oxfords, and Derbies. Those are all my highest sell-through ones, something I'm going to keep an eye on. These are on hand without being sold. So that's something. This is only looking at a month's worth of data. I will probably pull in like a chunk, like all of fall, to kind of see what categories, but I did want to look at that. And then I want to look at the jeans that are selling. Boot cut is 100%. What's interesting is Poshmark, you can label them different. So this boot cut sold, this boot cut did not. Boot cut, so this is jeans. Boot cut was out. I read currently that boot cut is making a comeback, and I sold a pair of boot cut today. It's not in this data yet. It was on eBay and I haven't shipped it yet, so it won't show up here, but I sold a pair of boot cut today. It is making a comeback for sure. High rise jeggings, flare and wide legged, boyfriend. Skinny's only at a 6%. That's mainly because I listed a bunch of skinny jeans, so there's a lot that I listed, so that kind of suppressed my sell-through rate. Ankle and crop. So these are ones that I am looking and I'm keeping an eye out for when I'm sourcing, especially because I don't really know jeans. So this is kind of helping me to get an idea for jeans. I've shown you in other videos too how to look at Terapeak data as well to kind of get an idea of what's working. So that's it for my data. Unless you guys have other questions, let's get into the actual items that sold. I didn't go over my sourcing spots with you. I've gone over that the past couple of weeks. I haven't added any new sourcing spots. So if you've watched me before, I'm going to talk about where I got these items. You can watch previous videos to see kind of the analytics that go behind how I decide to source and what I decide to source. I also really try and let you guys know that information in my haul videos. So it's not just like me showing a bunch of clothes, which is exciting, but also me telling you how I decide what I'm purchasing. And that's based off of my data. So this is what sold. We're looking at Poshmark here. Yeah, Duncan saying, yeah, I message them when I ship their item. I want repeat buyers. Yeah, maybe that's something I'm going to add to my strategy. I do like repeat buyers. Ideally, especially if you have a lot of the same items, right? Like I do a lot of women's wear. You can see a little bit of menswear is popping in here from my brother-in-law. So, whew. How's it going for you guys? I feel like I've been talking, which I have, but I've been talking for 30 minutes. Make sure to subscribe if you like content like this. Smash that like button too if you haven't already. Let's hop into what actually sold. I'm going to start with Poshmark and then we'll head on over to eBay to see what sold this last week. So I'm starting here with these vintage 80s heels. What's interesting about these, if you guys don't relist, I highly recommend it. These were a relisted item. I've had them for probably a year. Vintage takes time to sell, I'm noticing. I've had them for almost a year. I relisted them. They sold the next day. So it gets new eyes on your items. I try to do a few every day just to kind of keep my inventory from staying stale and getting fresh eyes on it. Don't worry about people not liking it. A lot of times I'll send out an offer a day or two before for like my lowest price, and then I will delete it and relist it. So that sold from a relisting. These, Karen, they were a flat buy. They purchased them. This is from that reseller box. I'm starting, as things are selling, I'm starting to not hate that reseller box as much as I did when I purchased it. There's two unhauling videos of that if you're interested more in the reseller box and kind of how I felt about it in the beginning. But I'm hating it less. They're not, some of them are selling high, some of them are selling low, but they are selling. This purse, it sat for longer than I was expecting. This is the first time I've purchased this brand. I have a 80-20 rule. When I go outsourcing, I purchase 80% of things that I know are going to sell. My bread and butter items that I'm comfortable with, I know, and then I kind of venture out into 20%. Like, I had never heard of this. I've heard of this, but I've never sold this purse brand or style before. So I purchased it. And that's how I keep kind of my revenue stream still coming in and still being able to take some risk. Both of these are men's shoes from my brother-in-law. Like I said, he knows what he's doing. Most of his items are selling between $50 and $150. And they sell quick. These were both listed this month. These jeans are from that. I think they were new with tags, but these jeans are from the reseller box as well. These are from the reseller box as well. This town is a boutique brand though. Boutique brands are kind of hard to sell because people aren't necessarily looking for the brand, right? You go into a boutique and it's cute and whatever, but you're not necessarily typing in that brand. Dear John, these are from my cousin, owned a boutique, and I purchased all of her inventory when she shut it down last year. So these sold from that. Columbia, these were mine. I had purchased them likely from the thrift store and wore them once or twice, and they just didn't really fit right. So I donated them to my business. And then this Mila Fox shirt. To be honest, I'm kind of glad that it sold on Poshmark. I sold 2 of them on eBay, and they both have gotten sent back for fit. And can't do that on Poshmark. So kind of glad they sold on Poshmark. But that's it. It was kind of a womp of a week on Poshmark, to be honest. Are you guys noticing the same? I'm wondering if y'all aren't on Instagram, like, lots of controversy in the Poshmark community right now. So I'm wondering if that played a part in it, or maybe I just wasn't on as much, or it's the end of the month, things are happening. I don't know, but my Poshmark sales were definitely not where they were. I want to touch on this one though. This sold previously in the month, but I wanted to show you guys this and talk a minute about it because it's an important part of the business that we're in. So this shirt, it sold on Poshmark if you have 3 days to accept the item or to file a case and say you want to return it. And then Poshmark decides if they allow it or not. So this one I sent out, whatever. And then I got a case opened. And they said, and let's look at the picture. So this is the first picture. And then if you scroll down here, yes, to the measurement picture, there's not a white Nike on it, right? So up here it shows a white Nike. Down here in the measurements, it does not show a white Nike. So she opened a case because it does not have a white Nike on it. What happened was I had 2 shirts that were very similar, and there was some confusion between me and my lister. And so she put the shirt that had the white Nike on it with the measurements from the one without a Nike sign. And so I was honest. I was like, listen, like the first couple of pictures show a white Nike, but that was the extra small. If you look at the pictures with the measurements in it, it shows that there's not a white Nike, but I completely understand that like you would want to return this. And she came back and she was like, you know what? I really appreciate your honesty in this. I'll keep it. And so I was like, cool. Like I didn't mind getting it back because I knew it would sell, but like I appreciated that she appreciated the honesty. You don't have to be rude with people. Like it was completely an honest mistake, and it was absolutely my fault. So I took ownership for it, and she ended up keeping it. And I think she actually bought something else, or she said she was going to. Let's get into eBay. What is happening? Wait, let's see. The magic number, let's see. Duncan is saying the magic number is 17 for unsold items to end and relist as mentioned. New listings get a quick boost on eBay. You sell similar when you relist. Oh, so wait. I don't understand. So the magic number is 17 for unsold items to end and relist. As mentioned, new listings get a quick boost. So you want 17 items ending every day and starting over again? Does that include the items that you're listing? So like for me, I list 10 items. I list 10 items a day. So what I want to end, make sure that 7 are ending. And how do you do that? Like, how do you make sure that happens? I don't know. Let's see. Let me know, Duncan. What's up? All right, let's hop into eBay. I want to make sure I'm covering everything. I think I am. So let's hop in to eBay. What's going on eBay? These are athletic pants. These sold this week. These again are another donated pair, donated from my closet. I bought them and they didn't quite fit the way that I wanted them to. So I sold them. They sold today. They were a best offer, I think, of 35 maybe. And if you've been following me, I've been slowly starting to get rid of free shipping. So okay. So I've been doing that. I didn't know it was 17. So take the oldest unsold item, 17, and end. Okay. So I've been trying to do sell similar every day, but I didn't know 17 was that number. So good to know. This did have standard shipping. I think I'm going to get rid of free shipping. I really loathe it. And I think I'm getting to a place where I'm still making the money that I'm okay making without having that added algorithm. This one I thought, although this is fast and free, I don't mind free shipping on a $100 item, right? Especially because this weighed like 2 ounces. Like it weighed nothing. This item I thought was funny. She sent an offer and it was a very reasonable offer, but she said, I'm sorry if I offended you with my offer, but this is the last of my unemployment money and I need to make sure that I look good for my potential mate, which I thought was a really cute note, but it also tells you what's happening right now. Like her unemployment money, like it's ending and this is kind of the world that we're living in right now. And that could be why sales are down, right? But this was the best offer. I think it sold for $90 still. So I will take it. It was new with tags. This was a fast and free that I accidentally forgot to change the shipping on. So I took a best offer on this. We kind of went back a couple times and finally I was like, whatever, I don't even care. It's not worth the $3 more that maybe I'm going to try and get out of you. So I'll just let you have it. But I hated shipping it because then I don't mind free shipping if it's $100. Like, okay, fine, I'll take $3 out. But I think this was a best offer around $20. And then you take $3 to $4 off of that. And then you take fees off of that. And my cost of goods, I made like $3 on it, right? Patricia Nash. I've actually only picked up her purses recently. I've only recently found her stuff. And I'm wondering if I saw it in the past and it just didn't register that it was nice. But Patricia Nash, they have both sold within the month that I listed them. One sold for around $60. It was a best offer and it was a rough day. I hadn't had an offer yet, so I took it. This sold flat out for $82 with $9.99 shipping. So Patricia Nash, if you're selling purses, keep an eye out for that. Danskos, Danskos sell. In the past, I've said that I won't sell them because they are ugly. I don't take back they're ugly statement, but I know that they're comfortable. I know a lot of people really like them. I just don't think they're the most attractive looking shoe, but they sell. This was the best offer though. I don't remember how much. So I'm saying that because what it says it sold for, if it's a best offer. Duncan, let me know if it's a best offer. It does not show up there what the best offer was. These sold for $10. And this again was I don't even care. I don't know this brand. And on some of this stuff, there wasn't really comps. And so my lister was like, I don't know, I'm just going to like pick a number and hope that it sells. This is one of those items. So we picked a number to list it at $25. I really had no idea what the value was. I don't know this brand. If you guys know this brand, did I totally screw myself? Did someone get a really good price? did someone get a really good deal, right? Because I sold it for $10. I probably made $1 on these. But so sometimes I will take a lower offer if I haven't had a sale in a day, or it's something that I'm like, whatever, like I'm probably not going to get a huge, this may sit for another year, or I might only get $5 more for this. I may take a little bit of a hit because sales beget sales. And so it will encourage the algorithm to give me a little bit more exposure and kind of increase my sales. So that's what happened there. This Calvin Klein, I think this was a offer that I sent out. And by the way, Duncan, you'll appreciate this. I'm sure Chris will like this next week when I meet with him. eBay is definitely, and I knew it would get there. I just had to start getting money on eBay, but eBay is definitely becoming my preferred site. I can send out all of my offers in like 10 seconds. On Poshmark, you have to sit there and send out an offer for every single item. And it can take you hours depending on what you're doing. eBay, like I can have 10 items or 500 items to send an offer on, and boom, I can send out all the offers with a nice little message too if I want. So I'm definitely appreciating that. Nike, here you go. Fast and free. I think I'm probably next month going to get rid of this. Last month, so this is what was happening. So in May, I started working with Chris. I did all of the tricks on eBay: free shipping, promoted listings, best offer. All of the little tricks, right? Increased my sales, made no money. So then in June, I was like, okay, let me just keep the momentum and see what's going to happen. And then July, I was like, okay, I've had 2 months of a good quantity of sales on eBay. Now let me try and scale back on some of those little tricks that I'm doing to make some more money. So I picked in July, and when you're doing something, I highly recommend only doing one thing at a time, because now like I'm scaling back my free shipping. And if I scaled back my free shipping and my promoted listings and my sales tanked, I wouldn't know which one was creating that, right? So for July, I'm scaled back my free shipping on, if it was under $30, I had a flat fee. If it was purses and shoes, I have a flat fee because those cost $10 to $15 to ship. But if it was over $35, I think, to $40, then I still did free shipping if it was under a pound. If that makes sense. This is why my lister is amazing, because she knows what I mean. But this is why this was free shipping. I'm going to try, I think, next month in August to completely get rid of free shipping. It just makes me cringe. Maybe add it to items that are stale or something. eBay has always been my preferred site with the most sales. It wasn't that way. 4 or 5 months ago, I was getting 10 sales on eBay. It's a hard nut to crack for sure. These are from my brother-in-law. These are vintage Reebok. It's hard with some of my brother-in-law's stuff because they don't always have comps. So they sold, we took a comp at $30. I think it got a best offer and they sold. It's money. Patagonia. Who doesn't love some good old Patagonia? This is my brother-in-law actually came over today and we were talking about this jacket. This is a hit or miss. So Patagonia sells for sure. Some of their stuff, though, it's like hit or miss. And this is a vintage Patagonia. So it was like the comps, there was ones that sold for $20. There was ones that sold for like $150. So we picked this price of $60, we being my lister. I take the pictures, she lists them. Picked a $60 and was like, fingers crossed, hope that it sells. And I got a best offer, I think, for $40. So I countered for $48, I think, or $50, somewhere around there. And they accepted it and they paid the shipping. So, but stuff like this, like we weren't sure if it was going to sell or if it was going to sit, because it's one of those more unique styles. This brand I'm not familiar with. It's clearly a fancy brand. It's new with tags, but it sold it. This was an offer. I think this offer was around $50. And I'm going to be honest, I was not impressed with these at all. They did not look like, I'm trying to remember do I have the MSRP on here? Yeah, here's the tag. Oh, it doesn't say. I thought maybe it had $155. Yeah. So the MSRP is $155. They did not look and feel like $155 pants to me. But whatever, I'll take it. Kangol. Let me know if y'all rocked these out in the 90s. I absolutely did. I'm pretty sure I still have some available or some in my closet somewhere. I used to love rocking out the Kingles. Maybe I'll wear one in one of my videos. I do love my hats. But this was new with tags, sold. It was a best offer. I don't remember what it sold for. This one I didn't mind free shipping, $50, and it's going to cost me, I mean, it weighed like nothing. It cost me like $2 or something to ship. Not Your Daughter jeans. These are pretty good movers. I'm still trying to figure out, let me know if you guys know. I'm trying to figure out Not Your Daughter jeans, because they have different labels. Can you see? Yeah, so there's the label. They have different labels. So I'm trying to figure out which labels are selling better, or like if one's a newer style. These were skinny, and I also think they're distressed. So here's what I'm looking for. I purchased these because, or these may have come in the reseller box, but I would purchase these skinny leggings, high rise, distressed, and ankle. Those were, if you remember looking at the dashboard, those were all sell-through rates that had high sell-through rates. The North Face, this was a best offer, and I'm actually, so I did a Macy's lot. These are all new with tags. I have like 5 of these, and I'm like thoroughly surprised that they are not selling. This is the first one that sold, and it was an offer. I think the first offer was like $9, and I was like, no. And then I think it sold maybe around 15, which is surprising to me. But part of that, I think maybe it's a bias because I wear a lot of these skirts. So I just think everyone else likes them. Apparently they don't. Maybe I'm behind the times. These Sam Edelmans, these sold pretty quickly. Sam Edelman is honestly hit or miss for me. If you guys have tips on the Sam Edelman, leave them in the comments down below. Let me know. But these were donated to me, and they were in great shape, so I took them. What's actually kind of funny, so my niece actually gave these to me, and we're a thrifting family, so she bought them, maybe wore them once or twice, and then gave them to me. What's funny is she clearly bought them at a thrift store because you can see, where is this? The price was right here. It was written on right here. So she thrifted them. She kind of sourced for me, right? She thrifted them. She wore them a couple times and then gave them to me, donated them to me. POL, never heard of this brand. I think this is from the Macy. No, this is from the boutique. I think this is from my cousin's lot from the boutique. I think that's a boutique brand. It was a best offer. Most of mine are best offers, so maybe that's something I'll get rid of later on. This is Ark & Company. That's selling fairly consistent for me. Not huge dollar amounts, but fairly consistent. Something I want to note too, if you guys have been keeping an eye on my pictures and my notes, a lot of what's been selling lately has been white. And in the past, I have not picked up a lot of white because I don't want to photograph it. It's just such a pain to photograph. But in the reseller box that I have mixed reviews about, a lot of white came in it, and I was like, well, here we go. Like, I have it now. I have to do it. So I purchased a black roll from Amazon, like a photo roll, and put it in the background, and it actually was pretty easy to take pictures. So if you're struggling with taking pictures of white, you can see how easily that pops. I obviously did not have the black paper roll when I took this picture. This actually just got a return opened for me this morning, so I shouldn't include this, but this is getting returned for fit. That is most of my returns are for fit. I have measurements in all of my listings in the pictures, so they can clearly, let me show you. In the pictures, they can clearly see what I'm measuring. I always give more measurements if they ask for it, but somehow I still get fit. This was from my cousin's lot as well. This is from my cousin's lot as well. Let's see. It's a distress. I'm kind of surprised it sold after the 4th of July because it had that American flag on it, but whatevs, it sold. Jerseys, y'all. I know nothing about sports, like next to nothing about sports. And so I see jerseys and I don't ever know what to pick up. But my brother-in-law is like, if it's new with tags, definitely pick it up. And almost any jersey is going to sell. Some are going to sell better than others. Whoever this is, Tiki Barber. Do y'all know who that is? It's new with tags and it was also signed. Let me see. Does it show? Yeah. So it was also signed. But this sold, I think this sold flat out. So again, here's the white. It photographs really nicely on that black. $60. This was the best offer for $50. Here you go. Some more dance goes. Nothing fantastic or pretty about them, but you know, they sell. They sure do. I think that was an offer as well. Nike, I would have absolutely kept this in a heartbeat if it was my size. Super cute. Kind of surprised that this took so long to sell. Michelle is saying, what's up, Michelle? Thanks for joining. Yeah, I wish they could not return due to fit, especially when measurements are included. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. But I've never had an issue with it being, knock on wood, I have never had an issue with it being returned and something wrong with it. And two items this month that got returned for fit, I relisted, and within a day or two, they sold again. It's just kind of a pain for sure. A&G. So these are nice jeans. They sold for $50. I think these were a flat buy. Yeah, or a very reasonable offer. Again, look at, their ankle, their cigarette cropped, which is going to be like a really thin leg, skinny leg, really thin leg. So yeah, those are jeans. This was the best offer. Y'all, I don't know this brand, so let me know if I gave someone a really good price on this. So this was listed for $50. I had probably 5 offers for it around $30. And so to me, that tells me like that's kind of the value of it. Comps were all over the place on it. Some were $20, some sold for $50. There wasn't this exact one. It is new with tags. But then someone I think gave me an offer of like $40, and I was like, listen, I've been getting offers for $30. At $40, that was at least $10 more than that. Okay, I'll take it. I also have like fear of hoarding, so I probably give items away maybe a little bit less than I should. But like, I'd rather if I sell it for $40 now, I have that $40, I can reinvest it in my business and exponentially make more money, or I can hold on to it for 6 months and make $5 more. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. So this was a auction. Excuse me. It goes on the camera. I think it was for my brother-in-law. I honestly have no idea what it is. It's a camera monitor. It's untested because I don't have the camera that it goes with. It was an auction, 3 bids, one for $89. This is the last thing that sold this month. Wish I had a black background for this. This sat for a while. It's vintage. This I sent out an offer. I think I was so sick of looking at it that I sent out like a 50% off offer, and they accepted it. Vintage is hard. I'm noticing, I'll show you, that's what we'll end with. I know I've talked about this in the past. I'm trying to decide what to do. So let me know what you guys think. Top categories, vintage. Here you go. Nope, that's jackets. That's categories. I want brands. Vintage. So here's vintage. My average sale price is $40. So it's a good average sale price. My sell-through rate is 5%, which means I have lots of inventory that is just sitting. I have a little bit of a fear of becoming a hoarder. And then also, like, if I'm only selling 5%, clearly I'm not doing something right. And so I'm trying to figure out what that is with vintage. So if you're a vintage seller, let me know. I've talked with a couple of vintage sellers, and I think some of it's just the time. Let's look at it. Yeah, let's look real quick. So this is why I like my data, because I have these questions and then I can just go back and look. So what I'm going to do is look at last year and see how my vintage was performing last July. So here we go. Where's vintage? Is green. Vintage was at a 46% sell-through rate. So that leads me to believe that I don't suck at vintage, that vintage is just not selling right now. So I'm not necessarily, because I've been contemplating, like, let me just get rid of my vintage. I'm so sick of it because it's not really selling. I don't think it's because I have bad vintage, because a year ago it was selling. I think it's because of what's happening right now. Vintage tends to be more of a dressier type of dressing, right? Like, I mean, not dressy, not like formal, but like you get dressed up to like look cute at school, or like when you're going to hang out with your friends, or right. And not a lot of that is happening right now. If you notice, and I close out of that now, so we can't go back and look, but if you notice, a lot of what's selling is athleisure wear, right? So I think that's part of what my vintage is it's just not selling right now. So this is telling me, what I just looked at really quickly is telling me, don't get rid of your vintage. You have good vintage, but maybe be cautious in what you're buying because it's not selling right now. So if I'm investing my money, probably don't invest it in vintage unless it's like a legit piece of vintage. So that's where I'm at. We're right at an hour. My voice is about donezo. Thank you guys so much for joining. I really am enjoying doing this live with you guys. If you're watching this in the recording, definitely leave comments down below. I love interacting with you guys and hearing what's working for you. There is no one right way to do this. That's why I'm a huge proponent of data, because that data will tell you what is working for you. We all come with different backgrounds, different knowledge, different sourcing spots, all of that. And the only way that you're going to know is what is working is by looking at your numbers. Love YouTubers, love social media, or even just, hey, this is what's trending right now. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what's going to work for you. A lot of what works for me is things that people are like, I can't sell to save my life. And for some reason, either I have an eye for it or I get good sourcing. I don't know what it is, but it sells for me. So that's my little thing. If you like content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications to get notified of my new content that's coming out. I do a weekly what sold video. It's for the first Wednesday of, it's a weekly what sold Wednesday video, just like this one. It's set for the first Wednesday of the month. I will be talking with Chris from A Daily Refinement at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard. So that'll be next Wednesday. If you're watching this live, make sure to join there. There's always lots of really good conversation that comes out of those. Lots of really good tips as well. And then my Monday accountability calls, those are back on. I canceled this last week. I was doing a cultural race talk with Leslie from A Reseller's Passion, and definitely follow her on Instagram and YouTube. She's one of my favorite people. I've never met her in person, and I've actually known her for a short amount of time, but she's absolutely one of my favorite people in life. And my husband's too, just because he follows her as well. But I'll definitely follow her. But my Monday was canceled because I did something with her. But it is back on. It is open. It's a Monday accountability. We talk about our successes, about our goals for the next week, and all the things that come up in between. So if you want, it's open to anyone. You are welcome to join me on the live video call or in the comments if you're a little bit too shy for that or you don't want to comb your hair. You don't have to comb your hair either. That's why I have a hat on a lot of the time. But I'd love to have you on there on the comments or on the video. If you want to come on the video, give me a shout out. Slip into my DMs. Is that what they say? Send me a DM on Instagram and I will give you the link to join the video. That's it. That's all I have for you. I hope your guys' week is great. I hope that your July ends wonderfully and that you guys are doing whatever is best for you and your family in these times right now. And have a good day.